Okay, there we go. All right. And this is a little bit loud in my ears. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. There we go. Much better. All right. So, tonight, we're doing the Ironclad, but I'm going to approach this a little bit differently. I'm going to assume that I have to go through every little thing before I make every decision. Hopefully that increases my odds of victory by a substantial amount. All right, what do we got here? We have remove a card. Enemies have 1 HP. Lose a gold transform 2 and boss swap. We have the Guardian, which checks our defense more than anything. A little bit on the offense. We need to be able to hit pretty good on the offense, but it mostly checks our defense. So, as long as we are able to block about 15 consistently on demand, we should be okay. If we get any form of weaken, we pretty much just win this fight, which is fantastic because we can weaken the heavy hits. Its 3 main options of attack are just if you weaken it, you either trade or come out ahead by 1. So at worst, you come out behind by 1 hit point, which accelerates the fight, which is probably a good thing. So, I do like this this after half burning elite. I don't like how there's no secondary benefit before that. It's only card value and or a single elite. Alternatively, that we do have a route where we can go elite but campfire with a shop right before it, and we can go for either a camp, or we can go elite into camp. I do like this notion of getting 1, 2, 3 campfires and a shop along with that, and then we can get a good couple of fights in prior to that, like 1 event, maybe 2. And we can see if we want to take on this elite or if we want to go for the upgrade. Going for upgrades in Act 1 is really, really good value. You don't have a whole lot of things that hyper scale off of the relics just yet. Relics tend to have much more specific or swingy-oriented effects, whereas cards are just flat, straight-up, always value. And sometimes you get relics that also have minimal or counter, or in some cases even counter synergy. So, we're going to try up this way. I think if we can't really go for a 1 HP elite too often. We can sometimes, but that's pretty rough. Getting to here and then only going... There is an avenue where we can go this way and hope for the 1 HP elite. But if we don't get it, we can just trade off and go to here. That's a pretty good deal, actually. We'll go for that. Now, piece of me is also hope, and I also like going for the events as the Ironclad because it gives us an option to trade our health, because we can regain it, off for some other resources. Clash, Warcry, and Sword Boomerang. Used to like Clash a bit, but then I got to Ascension 10, and then I stopped liking it as much. Warcry is a way that it kind of makes Clash work. Warcry is good if you have other good cards that you want to set up, such as the Clash. The Sword Boomerang is a fine card. It is not great. Notably, it doesn't actually proc multiple times with the boss, because it's not Thorns. It's not Thorns or Bronze Scales. It's very specifically something else. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it causes it to only take damage, only return damage for an attack card being played, not for damage being done. So Sword Boomerang isn't terrible. We'll take it. It's not great though. This is exactly what I was kind of hoping for. Take 11 damage. Take another 7. We are very rich. In this case, I don't think I want to do that. Getting a doubt, unplayable at the end of your turn, gain 1. We'd be holding on to that for quite a while. I'm going to disagree with this. But we do get our 1 HP elite, which is really nice. Havoc is an interesting card. It's good with... It's sometimes good with headbutts, which is a really good card, and Warcry, which is a mediocre card. And is handy if you want to try and get, like, if you want to cheat a card. For example, if you wanted to try and get, say, a demon form out for 0, or even just 1. Having it set for 1 is pretty good too. Anger is generally a good card, but it's not great into this boss. But I think it will help us fight when, generally speaking, with all the fights that we will be doing. It will help us a lot just trying to take on the elites and the hallways. It's not going to help us too much against the boss itself, but it will help also in the second act. Thunderclap is a generally okay card. A form of vulnerable on targets for 1 mana or 1 energy is really, really good. In this case, I think I'm going to take the Anger for a little bit more focused damage. We're going to be able to get this elite victory here for absolutely no expense, and we get the White Beast statue and a duplication potion, which is really nice. We don't have a big bonk card yet. Armaments is definitely a pickable card here. Being able to upgrade what we have at any given time to make it slightly better is always a welcome effect. Perfect Strike is actually not terrible here. It gives us a big bonk option, and we are severely lacking a 2-cost big bonk. We don't have anything other than the base strikes helping it, but it can definitely help us in trying to take down the Guardian. And I think I'm going to take it. We do need to be focusing on trying to get a little bit more defense. We're going to have a potion every fight now, so that's actually really nice. Focus on blocking here, actually. We have lots of health, but I don't want to trade it off meaninglessly. And that's where the Anger comes in really nice. Explosive Potion, pretty good for the upcoming fights in the hallway. Brutality is interesting. Giving us some card draw is nice. Though, and having a potion being brought in every single fight, thanks to White Beast statue, means we can kind of be a little bit more liberal with our less good potions. Feel No Pain is obviously a fantastic card. However, it is not going to be particularly good for the rest of this act, as there is a 0% chance that our next elite will be the Sentries, which this is a card that it is good into, and then there's a 50% chance that it will be good into this elite here. That being said, it also is not very good into the Guardian, as it doesn't have any exhaust synergies. Feel Pain is of course a really, really good card for alternative block engines, but we don't really have a way of activating that at this time. So it's basically a dead card. Brutality at the very least draws us cards, getting us an extra card every single turn for attacks of 1 HP, which basically means that this heals for that every if we get fight goes more than 6 turns, we are net negative. But we probably would have lost significantly more if we had drawn that many cards anyways. So, I think we can take the brutality here and not have to worry about card draw very much past that. I'm going to go for an upgrade here. We're going to upgrade the Perfected Strike. Getting this innate is quite nice, but we don't need it a whole lot all the time right now. So I'm going to go for the Perfected Strike because that's +5. It's +5, +6 damage, actually, on a 2-cost, which is pretty standard for a 2-cost upgrade. And any other cards that have Strike in it that show up, this is definitely going to help. This will help a lot in the upcoming fight against the boss. And we get the good chest, which we end up with Eternal Feather. That's a very good pickup. We can absolutely just kind of try and rock our socks here. Alright, let's see what I end up with here. And we can actually just throw this and most certainly get the kill next turn and lose absolutely no health whatsoever. We get a fire potion for our troubles. That's pretty good. Seeing red is nice, but definitely not absolutely necessary. It's not too often that we're going to be energy deficient as of yet. Wild Strike is also not really what we want, and the Body Slam is kind of hard to work into the deck right now. We only have best case scenario. We're going to be hitting for 10 as a result of that, so walking 10 and hitting 10, which is technically a little bit better than playing a Strike. It's +4. That's not, but it's also upgrade debt, and we don't have a major blockage. If I had a power through floor 1, which I would absolutely have taken if I had a power through floor 1, I would 100% be looking at that Body Slam a little bit differently. Seeing red, on the other hand, is kind of appealing. Wild Strike is deceptively dangerous to take. It deals 17 damage for a 1-cost card, which is actually kind of insane. We are at full health too, aren't we? Yes, we are. All right. I kind of like the Seeing Red here. We're gonna take the Seeing Red. All right. This is a pretty good. Do that just to get another anger into the draw pile. This is also a bogus turn. That's fine. As long as Bash is not at the very bottom, we're gonna be doing just fine here. This is a little unfortunate. I was kind of hoping the Perfected Strike would be somewhere else, but that's okay. Do we play the Brutality? I think we do. We can afford to sacrifice a little bit of health here along the way. We can block 5 here. We definitely just kill over the course of the next 2 turns 100% of the time. Excellent. Bag of Prep is a phenomenal thing to get here. Blessing of the Forge. Kind of not needed. I kind of like the Fire Potion. Actually. Let me think about this. I kind of like the play of the Blessing of the Forge a little bit more than Fire Potion at this time, especially with the boss that is coming up. Duplication Potion, of course, is a very, very good card. Should have considered playing it with that Perfected Strike back there to try and save myself about 15 more health. The question here is, do we want the Shrug or the Iron Wave? The Iron Wave is, by definition, more stat efficient. But shrugging for 8 is a big deal. It blocks things a little more efficiently than with 7. It is 4 less block, but you get 7 attack in at the same time, letting you maintain your aggression. However, there's a lot of benefits of having a Shrug as opposed to an Iron Wave. I think specifically in the fight that's coming up, I think the Shrug is going to be a little bit better, so we will take the Shrug. And we will definitely discard the Fire Potion for the Blessing of the Forge. I definitely could have played that a little bit more differently, and I probably could have saved about 15 hit points. It's not the biggest deal in the world because we are going to be recovering 9 hit points when we get to this campfire, so it's not that big of a deal. Alright. Pendib is a very, very strong relic to be picking up here. We can also do a remove. If we do, we are definitely removing a strike. The drop kick is a interesting pick here. Sometimes we just get a free bit of energy for it. Searing Blow is a never pick here, unfortunately. It is kind of fun to actually go Searing Blow systems. Searing Blow runs. Dalimir, also not a terrible thing, but not really worth taking at this time. We don't really need a second copy of any of these cards. Dreamcatcher is not looking particularly pretty here, so we'll take the Pendib. Dark Embrace, a fun card, but I don't think we want it. If I didn't have this Shrug, I'd definitely consider this True Grit. But we are going to go for remove and get rid of a strike, which puts us at 179, which is a good spot between the elite and the boss, which is somewhere around 100 gold or so. We can definitely hope for an early shop in Act 2 and definitely get something there. Yeah, I definitely like this. I like this. We can stick with this. In this case, a lot of our damage is predicated on Perfected Strike right now. Brutality would be good for the upcoming boss fight, but not the elite fight. The elite fight will be either Gremlin Knob or Tri-Sentries. Both of which the upgrading of the Shrug or the Seeing Red is not particularly useful. So your Anger, which I kind of don't really like to upgrade. +2 is not a good enough upgrade. Or the Bash, which is +2, but it also gets one more vulnerable, which we are kind of relying a little bit on the vulnerable to get the job done in the case of the boss. Brutality is definitely a good one to have into Tri-Sentries, but because it gives us that extra card, which gives us a better chance of actually getting what we need. But it is less useful into the Gremlin fight. Bash is kind of the opposite. Sword Boomerang doing an extra 3 damage is kind of mediocre as well. The extra vulnerability is particularly good in 2 of 3, and it's just not terrible in the second bit of the game. So we'll try this. Gremlin Knob, alright, that's a pretty good start. Brutality is a fantastic card to just draw immediately. Do we want to upgrade this hand? No, I don't think we do. And I think we will hold off on seeing what we get here instead. The upgrade is not terrible here. That's +3, that's 3, 5, and well, this actually makes it so that it's an additional 4 damage. This is an additional 2, +1 additional 3 damage, and this is an additional 3 damage as well. So 3, 6, 9, 10 additional damage for this potion, which is not particularly impressive. but that would make this 12. 12. 8 plus 8 plus 4, which is another 12, 24, and another 12, so 36, which with the perfected strike would definitely kill next turn. So we take only 8 damage here. Otherwise, we have to go another round. So this is saving us 24 health. I miscalculated. That is actually a 16 and 13. So it's actually even closer. At which point I can actually block this and take 0. Tiny chest, swift potion, big help there. Pommel strike is a fine pickup here. It helps to improve the perfected strike by giving an additional 3 damage and gives us card draw. Pommel strike is very good. We are getting a little thick, but I think that's fine. All right. The only thing I'm worried about is how much we're blocking here, but between the brutality and the shrug and the pommel strike being able to draw us cards, I think we'll be okay. .66 health is also plenty of health for this. We are definitely going to want to have the brutality for the beginning fight, and with the bag of prep, it is definitely a worthwhile pickup. Do that first. Do we get the perfected strike? We do get the perfected strike. And we get rid of the Ascender's Bane right away as well. I think we can do sufficient damage here, probably. We can. Odds of us getting a card that we can play for double damage quite nicely is not here. Do we want to draw for the bash? The bash would only do 20 damage instead, but it would apply vulnerable, which we're not really looking to capitalize on. So no. And do this just to progress the strike on the pen nib. We don't have any weaken, unfortunately. That is definitely worth playing in this instance. The anger is not. Taking a total of 6 damage to do 24 is definitely worth it. We have a triple. Oh, we have 3 blocks here, which is nice. Take like 1 point of damage, I believe. Now for the real test, do we get a means of blocking here? We do not. Can we deal sufficient damage to get him to not hurt us here? 24 times 2 is just shy of enough. So we could, in theory, duplicate potion and get some major damage off. We do want to get into a block string between the next 2 turns as well anyways. So I think we will do that. Not a big fan of playing the... Oh. Not sure what happened there. What the heck? Everything went kind of nuts. That was very strange. I'm not even sure what happened there. This does exactly 9 damage, which doesn't actually activate Perfected Strike if I hit it, which is perfect because we don't want that. Bang, boom. Alright, there's one block in the following turn. Play this for 6. That way we will only take 1 damage here. Get a little bit more progress. This is what I was afraid of with playing all those angers earlier. I do actually want to try and dig, I think. Well, I'm taking 16 here. 16 is okay. As we go down to 40, 36. Go down to 36. He's at 109, and I have to block for 20 the following turn, or as close to 20 as I can. Yeah, I think this is fine. Let's get all the angers out of my deck right away, which is a bit of a pain. This is fine, I would say. Blocking 15 here is fine. We do end up in a position where we have to worry about how much damage we're doing, but this is... Oh, this is fine. 9 damage. I think it's fine. This is very good for us. 9. 9 again. Effective strike, taking him down to 18. We're in a good spot. Easy win here. In fact, so easy that we can just do it right now. Boom. No worries. Double Swift Potion. Good spot. Good set of rewards. All right, now for the fun part. The age-old question of Fiendfire or Immolate. Both are pretty good at different things. With the doubling factor, we can definitely get Immolate to just smash our way through pretty much the entirety of Act 2 and all of our problems in Act 3 for the most part, if we ever get a chance to just double it with Pendant. Takes care of hallway fights, no problem. We also have a decent way of dealing damage in general between Perfected Strike with it and Perfected Strike. It pretty much puts us in a position where we're just looking for strength and that's it. Not really anything else beyond that. We're just looking for strength to strength or a double tap, and then we're looking for some way to exhaust those burns that we have coming our way. Alternatively, taking Fiendfire means that we can just, especially with the Bag of Preparation, and the Brutality, we can just kind of burn our enemy down to a crisp. This does 35 damage on any given turn if I have the Brutality in play. 35 damage given is pretty decent. As soon as we add any form of additional card, such as the double Swift Potion we have here, we can kind of just smash our enemy pretty hard. This is effectively 21 damage per potion at this time. And we can use these very freely because we will be getting the White Beast statue to replenish these potions as they disappear pretty quickly. If we ever get a Pen Nib proc on this, or if it's upgrade, or we get any strength scaling, this just goes crazy. It scales harder and it definitely solves the thing that we need, which is to be able to fight elites. Big thing we need in the second act after that is going to be strength scaling and some minor defense engine. Something like a feel no pain, and maybe a true grit or a second wind. Be most preferable. Obviously, things like impervious and whatnot would be good anyways. But I think it's a Fiendfire here. Something that's actually decent to consider here is the Burning Blood, or the Black Blood over the Burning Blood, because the Black Blood will make it a little bit more beneficial for us to be using our health to trade for our card draw. Alternatively, if we don't want to be utilizing that for card draw, which I don't see a reason not to with it being upgraded, we could go for the bird cage, or for the empty cage, and just take out a strike. I would say probably 2 strikes in this case. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. We have 5 offense cards added. Taking out 2 strikes is not the worst thing. Making our card draw just inherently much, much better. The Ectoplasm is a interesting choice. I don't think I really like taking Ectoplasm most of the time. However, I have done boss swaps getting Ectoplasm and then just winning the entire shebang because the extra energy goes really, really hard. And not having any money ever makes you just not take events, especially when there's going to be a lot of gold-oriented events, and you don't take shops at all. So it does force you to play a little bit differently. I think in this case, I like the empty cage the most for its quality of life on the deck. 2 removals is effectively 200 gold at this point. As 225 gold at this point, which is really high value. The Burning Blood is 6 additional health every combat. Taking a boss relic that blocks 6 more every fight is not really that great of a relic by its nature, but utilizing that to keep myself full when it comes to things such as the fact that I'm using my health to draw cards is definitely helpful. However, we do have Eternal Feather to already help with that, and with 2 cards being added, it's another 3 health every camp, which is about equivalent to half of this after a fight. We are kind of encouraged to take question marks a little bit, as the tiny chest will eventually give us a chest. I'm going to take the empty cage here and just get rid of 2 strikes. The champion. Alright, so in this case, we do have a solution to the champion. We just need some strength scaling to get us there. We want to probably avoid this Burning Elite because we don't have the best ways of dealing with it. Although there is a good late act shop, there's also a good early act shop right here. We get 2 question marks along the way, which is pretty good. Which then gets us into an elite, and then 2 more question marks right before a shop too, which we could end up with a pretty hefty amount of money as a result of that. Alternatively, we can also just go for another elite that will get us 2 more question marks for sure, into a campfire, into another question mark, and into another regular fight at the end there. I kind of like this route here a little bit. We can go for this early act shop and see how we fare. Perfected Strike obviously goes down with the removal of 2 strikes from the deck, but that's not that bad. We could go for 2 more draws here and do a big 9 times 7, which 9 times 7 is 63 damage, which is not enough, but it will hit this guy's shielding down pretty substantially. Hopefully we get a block card of some kind. I'm kind of willing to defend. Play one defend just to kind of take a little bit less damage here is fine. I only have 2 cards to draw, which is fine. Which means I can do this, actually. Funnily enough. No. Ooh, yes, actually. Because he is as good as dead this upcoming turn anyways. Actually got him stunned. Gambler's Brew, very good. We don't have any strength to be scaling the Heavy Blade. I also don't like really grabbing Heavy Blade unupgraded. The Anger we don't need in the Wild Strike is kind of bad at this point. Question mark. Transform a card. Transforming a card is pretty good. I think in this case, we're going to transform a defend. Second Wind is a fantastic pickup here. We're going to go to the shop. All right. So, there's our strength scaling right there. When you lose HP from a card, gain 1 strength. That is absolutely a scaling option for us. Chaku also very good with the attack heavy plan that we have. I think we can also get that with the Blood for Blood as well. So I think we'll do exactly that. Go for the chip damage. So now we have a good chip damage setup and strength scaling with our card draw engine. Second Wind needs some fuel as well, which shouldn't be too hard to find in the coming days. Do I want a book? Book is pretty good here. I actually do like all 3 options. I don't want the Namacon. Namacon is actually kind of bad for us unless we set up to help us specifically on Blood for Blood, costing 2 or more. Otherwise, it's actually kind of not great. Bash is okay with the Namacon. Fiendfire is not useful with the Namacon, unfortunately. But I don't mind a Nilrees or the other book which his name is escaping me at this time. Free power and free colorless. A free power or a free card every turn to kind of substitute after we've blown out our deck. Second Wind and Fiendfire would both be pretty good. It is minus 20 health, I believe, though. So I think we'll go for it. 1, 2, it's minus 6, minus 21, which is fine. We get a Nilrees. At the end of the turn, you may shuffle 1 random card into your draw pile. This is pretty good. With a exhaust hungry setup that we have now, and with it being 2 power heavy as well, I kind of like it. We look for some defenses and some strength scaling at this point. I am not feeling... Oh, thank you. What's that, sweetheart? Full of gas? You need me over there for a second? Yeah, sure. I will be right back. Okay, where were we? Oh, right, baseball. Do I want to? Yeah, I kind of do. Going for the draw here is not important. Battle Trance is a very good card to have here. Because we may actually be able to. Yes, we can. Let's see here. 62 HP. We can, I believe, that is 7 times 7, which is 42. Which is insufficient. 7 times 7 is not 42. 7 times 7 is... Why don't I know this off the top of my head? 5 times is 35. So that would be 42 is 6, so 49. 49 is not enough. We will be gaining strength here, so I think a pummel would be fine. Bashing is kind of bad. Let's see here. We're doing 10, 12, 10 plus 12, which is 24. 30 something, unless we draw the Fiend Fire in this case. That's not the Fiend Fire. We'll Gambler's Brew this, I think. Okay, and that will be victory right there. Attack Potion, pretty good. Seeing Red, Anger, and Sword Boomerang, not terrible cards, but I don't think we need another Sword Boomerang at this time. We also have ourselves set up nicely for this elite, but I think we're going to go for the camp first and then into this elite, and we'll then figure it out from there. None of these are really appealing to me at this time. I'm actually looking for more defensive-oriented missions. Seeing Red is not terrible here, like second one. Having that extra energy along with being able to just play, just exhaust it with Second Wind as kind of necessary. Lets us play our hand a little bit more. We have a 6-card hand pretty much every single turn. I think we can take a Seeing Red here. Let's just be a little bit more aggressive, and it gives us more options on the offense with the champion as well. Go here, give ourselves a little bit of a rest and heal. We are going to... Our first priority is the Fiend Fire. Scales with everything extraordinarily well, and the bonus 3 is insane. Go for the elite here. All right, this is less than ideal. This dealing 36 this turn is not particularly impressive. This is a lot of damage coming in, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it. Unless we get Immolate here, which wouldn't kill, but it gives us a lot of options to kill. Let's drink and find out. Searing Blow. Plus 12, or in this case, 24 damage. 24 damage, 20 and 24 times 1 point. So 20 and 12 plus 6. So, I'm not entirely certain. Yep. I don't want to stay up too late, because I do gotta be up in the morning. I need to be up to run my game at 6. So, you know, not early, but early enough. Outside of that, I don't think my game in the evening is running. And my afternoon game is not happening either. You gotta go to where? Okay, so we gotta take you into Cambridge then. Whatever. All right. So this is 20 plus 18, or 24 plus 10 is 30. Is 34. Wait, this is 36. And we also get the anger. Alternatively, we can go 24 and be significantly less. If we seeing red here, we do get to play everything except for... Actually, we don't even need to play the seeing red here. This needs to get to 10. This needs to get to 9 for it to be effective. So, I believe the correct play here is to play the bash first. Because this will do 18 instead. It doesn't kill, unfortunately. And this doesn't kill either. But it does get it close. We are taking a bunch of damage here. But there isn't really anything we can do about that. It's like a pummel over a Juggernaut. This does mean he dies this turn, so we don't have to worry about getting vulnerable or netted, which is good. Second wind only grants us 10 block, which is not a bad amount. We also get a little bit of extra energy as a result of that, meaning we can play a strike and a perfect strike with that, which is good. Blocking 15, blocking for 10 is not terrible, though it is far from preferable. We will be surviving with 2 HP. Which means that we will die the following turn if we don't have an immediate killing solution. And I'm pretty sure that means that we just die here. Because we will just die from drawing a card. Unfortunate. Kind of the concern I had about this deck as it was, because we didn't really have that many block cards. The number of block cards we had was mostly dependent on... We had a total of 5 block cards, which was the biggest concern. Then I added 3 more that didn't really give us that. This one sort of did, but then we added to not really take care of the lack of block. Bit of a shame. I should have considered taking that, what's it called? Shrug from the shop earlier. Just to kind of fill out the deck a bit better. Feel a little bit more confident in my picks, though, which is good. We have ads in 10 seconds over on Twitch, so if you want to continue to watch and hang out, that is fine. I will be getting up for just a brief moment, and then we will be back right after that. Stay tuned. Okay, excellent. All right, ads are done. We can get started on this second round for the night. All right, pretty good starts. Removing a single card or losing 7 max to transform 2 cards. Transforming 2 cards can be pretty good. We get a strike and defend transformed into something like halfway decent. Removing a card is, of course, generally good. Getting rid of some of your trash to make space for better cards, always decent approach. It also makes it so that we draw for the first fight. so that we draw in 2 turns. Or rather, the third draw is a full shuffle, which is pretty good. This opening, however, is kind of awful. I do not like this opening. 3 fights and a question mark that will give us a pretty good option to go forward. We can even try for the Burning Elite. It's not a bad idea. We are low on our streak, so it's not a terrible idea to just kind of go for it. There's also a campfire immediately after, which gets into a fight, which then we go to another campfire, into another elite, and then another camp, and then another elite, which means we actually get 4 campfires and 3 elites, one of them being a burning elite. And we get some fights sprinkled in there. We get a fight and a question mark sprinkled in there for good measure. If we're doing that, I do want to transform the 2 cards just to try and get ourselves something of decent value along the way. So I think we'll go for that. Berserk and Pummel. All right. An interesting direction to go with things. We are hoping for something. We're just going to take the damage here. This is vulnerable, so we take 50% more, which means that we will actually take 6 more damage. 6 putting that at 18. So we take 3, but we gain an extra energy the following turn with 4 strikes. Which is not what we need in order to win. We only need 3 strikes because 6, 6, 6 is 18. So we will not be doing that. Speed potion, pretty good pickup. Anger, battle trance, and a feel no pain. I do like the anger and the battle trance into Hexaghost. Feel no pain is not particularly useful in Act 1. I don't usually recommend taking it. And battle trance and anger are both pretty good. Right now, we need a way to defeat these elites. And I think the anger is going to help us a lot in doing so. This does 8 damage. I am not berserking here. We would be taking an extra 4 damage and then probably another 4 on top of that. Yes, indeed. But we pretty much guarantee the kill next turn, which is good. Still sitting at -8 health total. The uppercut is a phenomenal pickup here. That's just going to make it possible. We're going to hope for an upgrade. That is not an upgrade. Actually, I should have thought about that a little bit more. It's 1 fight, and then we do the remove. Which is not that big of a deal. It's plus 75 gold, which isn't bad. I think we actually do that. Doubt. Unplayable, and at the end of your turn, gain 1 week. It does suck, but it's for only a single fight. And then we have it removed. But that means that we are immediately foregoing the Burning Elite. Can we take on the Burning Elite as is with 0 upgrades? If we do get an upgrade from the event, what are we upgrading? Uppercut, probably, as it is good in all 3 fights, really? Which means our best damage output is, in fact, the uppercut because of its follow-up potential. So our damage output is actually kind of bad right now. So we are actually going to not do that, take this Burning Elite. We are going to take the money and we are going to proceed forward and hopefully get something pretty good at this location. We can do the Berserk here because the first turn of damage is not that bad. It's low enough that we can kind of ignore it. This is significantly better. We take regular damage here. So it's -2 health, but we get the guarantee this turn. We're at pretty much full, so it's fine. Alright, now, there's something to be said about the flex here. Because flex can make it so that we can do more damage effectively. Infernal Blade is not terrible, but it's not great, unfortunately. True Grit is a fine card, but not particularly great for what we are going to be doing in the upcoming fights. We are going to be removing the Doubt. The Anger was going to help with against those burns fairly well by diluting our deck with more Angers as is. Taking a Flex might prove rather comically useful in this case. It helps get all of these things much more powerful. Especially with something, if I get draw 2 Angers, I can make that very strong, and I can just hold out until I get the Pummel available, which does make this a 6x4 card rather than a 2x4 card. And 6x4 is, well, triple the damage. I'll take a Flex. Oh, especially if we get something such as Pellets here, we can make it very interesting. Well, now, I do like this drop kick, and I do like this Preserved Insect. We're also going to be going for an immediate removal of this Doubt, which does take Question card off the table, but I don't think I really wanted the Question card here. It feels as though we are going for perhaps a smaller deck right now. The Armaments also is a fun pickup. It does mean that we can kind of just go for an upgrade on the Armaments and then focus out our resources elsewhere. Maybe go for resting instead. But I do like this Preserved Insect dropkick. We have a fair bit of vulnerable going on, especially once we upgrade the uppercut. Dropkick will be free pretty often. And a weak Lagavulin is, of course, a good Lagavulin. In this case, I actually do want to go for the dropkick and the strike. Now, we didn't, unfortunately, did draw the uppercut there, which is a bit of a shame, but it's fine. We can play the whole turn here. Taking 15, not that bad. We do not Berserk this turn, because that is going to spell a death sentence for us. There is a very strong possibility that over the course of the 2 turns, we can do... This is our next 2 hands. With Flex, we are going to get at least 2 attacks off, possibly a 3rd. We absolutely deal 36 damage over the course of the next 2 turns. I will take 5 less damage here. Ah, Flex. Excellent. Which means that this does a lot more damage. And we actually just straight up win. Sundial. Pretty good pick up with a small deck. Regen Potion helpful for our lack of defenses. Second Wind is a decent card normally. We do have some fuel for it. Twin Strike is okay, and Body Slam not so much in this case. Twin Strike is not terrible with Flex, though not incredible. The Second Wind will help with finding a use for the Berserk when we just simply can't use it. Upgrading the Berserk does mean that we are vulnerable only the turn that we use it, which is a big deal. The second wind, or it is between the second wind and the true strike. I do like this true strike, or not true strike, twin strike rather. But I really like this. Actually, into this boss, the second wind is actually really good as it gets rid of these burns that we don't want to deal with. So we'll get the second wind here. We are definitely going to want to grab some campfires over elites for the time being, but we can get both. We go this way. It'll give us regular fights. Alright, take 7 here. Bit of a shame. Ah. Well then. Do that because then you're vulnerable for the following turn as well. Oh, I should have played flex there because it would have been. We still win anyways. Very good. Could have been a lot tighter though. The Feel No Pain is a pickup that I'm only taking solely because I can then pair it with the second wind. It feels a bit early for that, but I think we can justify it for now. We are looking for another. We are looking for skills at this point. I'll play the flex here to get this to do 16 damage, and that's good by 23. He's half dead already. I believe that's just a kill there. It is. We do not need a Hemokinesis or a Thunderclap here. We're going to skip those. Kunai. We like that. Extra defenses. The big thing that we need is some extra dexterity will help with our defense not being as good. We definitely want to smith here, and we definitely want to smith this uppercut over anything else. Highest value card in our deck right now. Ah, Gremlin Knob. Hello. We can absolutely berserk here. We will only be taking slightly more damage on this turn. 4, in fact. Not a big deal. Especially when you consider that we are going to be able to just absolutely body this man's socks as a result of it. I will definitely play both of these here, as it makes it only take 7 instead, and he is absolutely dead. Boom. Orichalcum, that is a phenomenal relic for us right now. For the Hexaghost. I think we will actually be using the regen potion for the Hexaghost. We can get rid of this dexterity potion. Fruit juice. And, ooh. Alright, that is a tempting pickup right there. The problem I have with this is that while we don't have a big block at this time, or a big bonk at this time, I should say, we do have a flex anger drop kick playing off of the vulnerability. We have like a synergistic setup already going. And cycling our deck is something that we don't do particularly well because we kill too quickly right now. And how often do I want to play a 3-cost for 32 or 42 damage? About as every time as I get it, because I definitely won't have a better way of playing it that turn. I also have a bunch of 0 costs, right? This is a one-time. This is a bash or an uppercut, and then we go 0, 0, 0 pretty regularly, which means that it actually pairs well with the bludgeon. We are a little thick, and we don't have much in the way of defense, although this can be flexed. The flex can become defense with the second wind. Same with the Berserk. It is mighty tempting. We can get it immediately upgraded. And it goes very well into Tri-Sentries or Lagavulin, because it just absolutely demolishes them. I think we take it. Especially with this Orichalcum, we can definitely afford to not block on certain turns. In this case, however, I believe that the Bludgeon is still the best upgrade, so we will take it. Ooh, always a bad face. We will gain 50 gold. Lagavulin, you are so dead. That's actually a pretty good turn 1. Now, can I get one of my 2 offenses? I can. I actually think I want to do this here. It is highly likely that we are going to get Bludgeon next turn, so we will do this. He is going to have the lessened damage, and I'm going to have weaker damage. All right, can I please draw my Bludgeon? Excellent. I think I just win. I do not just win, unfortunately. So we will do this. Block an extra 2 damage. It does hurt quite a bit, but we reign supreme. Meat on the bone, an excellent pickup. Explosive potion, not that important. Disarm, however, we do have a ton of cards from this act. I just want to point this out. This is generally not the size. This is actually slightly oversized. Only slightly, like 2 cards oversized if I take this disarm. However, we have pretty much everything we need in order to be able to fight this and parts of Act 2 already. And everything that I've been getting has been good for Act 2 and decent for the upcoming fight. Feel No Pain is a bit more of a scaling card, sure, but the Bludgeon, the Second Wind, and the Disarm have all been particularly good in going into this big fight. Along with that, the Pummel is not a real card, and the Berserk, a lot of the times, is a card that I kind of just don't want to play. I just want to exhaust it. Like this go around, I should have actually not played it. So we will go with the Disarm, because that pretty much just completely disables the Hexaghost. Fortunately, Meat on the Bone is not going to heal us 12 when we get into this. Heal for 20. Now, there's a thing to be said about healing for 20 here. The thing is we have 6 block every single turn. Furthermore, Hexaghost's damage on its second turn is scaled based off how much HP we have when we go in there. So, not having as much HP means that we could potentially just let Orichalcum do the blocking for us. And if we get the Disarm inside of the first 2 turns, which is about 50% of the time, we can just run this guy right into the ground and he can't do anything to us for the entire fight. So I'd say this is a pretty good opportunity. And we got the Disarm, so we don't even have to worry about it. We also have the Regen Potion. I don't know if I actually need the Regen Potion here. It's a curious question. Do we Regen Potion? I think we can actually I think we can just Fruit Juice here, because Fruit Juice will give us that extra 5. And the big thing about that is that it also means that we'll heal up a little bit extra going out of the act as well. I think we even play Berserk here because it gives us that extra bit of energy. Also removes it from our drop from our discard pile. You can play the entire hand too. It would be doing 3 plus 1 or 3 plus 2, I think. I believe it is doing a total of 4 times. It's 4 times 6, which would this make it 1 times 6. 1 times 6 is, with it doing vulnerable, I believe is still 1 times 6. So, and even if, in the case, even if it's doing 2 times 6, let's say, for the argument's sake, or even 3, I only take 12, and I'm blocking for 6, and I have 5 extra hit points, and that brings me to a okay amount. And this is assuming that I don't block for anything the following turn. This does mean that things are going to be spooky if we don't kill him fast enough, but with the extra energy, I think we can pull it off. He is, in fact, doing nothing, which is absolutely phenomenal. Do I want to uppercut drop kick into a strike or something else that we're going to be drawing here? We're going to be drawing a lot of defense next turn. Alternatively, we could just bludgeon for 42. 18 with, well, 13, 20. And then we'll just say we use the strike here. 29. But he is vulnerable and weakened for the next 2 turns, which is less of a big deal. But but it does let us draw through our deck faster. We'll go for it, because sometimes it's better. Plus, it does get us the dexterity bonus. We're not going to worry about the pommel this turn, I don't think. I want to try and get that paired up with the flex. Yeah, he's dealing a whole 2 damage to us this turn. I don't really want to get rid of my defense at this time. So we'll just play a defend here. Oh, I guess I would have blocked that anyways. 6, you got blocked for 6 here, which is automatically happening, which is phenomenal. Play the flex here and strike for a little bit more dexterity. Automatically blocking for 6. Don't need to play it. Uppercuts. Anger. Strike. Strike. The bonusing that this is that we're getting from this dexterity from the kunai is actually really, really important, because I don't think we're actually going to be able to race him to the end here. We might be able to, but it's gonna be kind of on the close side. Oh wait, we still have 2 turns. We're fine. Unfortunate turn here. But that's how strong our block engine is right now. That doesn't kill. This gives us a little bit more HP in the start of next act. We're actually taking 0 this entire thing. That's the scary attack right there. Hey, we even got the good ending there. Now, the big question is, do we want to take the fruit juice because it lets us scale up? Orichalcum with Juggernaut is a fun little thing because it lets us just block a ton. So the big thing here is we want to play offense cards so that we generate dexterity. But then we want to play defense, so we can play defensive cards. But we have to play offensive cards in order to be able to play the defensive cards. Barricade is not a particularly good card for us at this time. We do have the defense engine to make it actually pretty decent often enough, but I think it's too expensive right now for us. Juggernaut doesn't happen often enough in order for it to really benefit us. We don't have the defense and the cards for it, and we don't have the draw for it. Immolate, on the other hand, is a good area of effect option that we just don't have at this time. But it does make our deck extremely energy heavy, and without Sundial helping us and having general card draw, it's a little bit hard to do that. Though Berserk does let us kind of get there. Unfortunately, in the upcoming act, Berserk is going to be much, 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 much less good. We are just going to be taking too much damage if we try to play it early on, and we are going to find difficult points in time of playing it. So Immolate is going to be a very expensive card for us in the future. I think there's a world where we can take the Juggernaut just because we have the second wind, and we can use that as an alternative damage engine. It does let us try to scale things up a little bit. We aren't pressed for it. It does also mean that we gotta be trying to grab as many block-oriented cards as possible. It's not terrible because it is a passive 7 damage every turn, or 5 damage every turn because of Orichalcum, even if we aren't blocking. Barricade is tempting, but again, too expensive at this time. We need to find a way to scale this deck up. What are we dealing with right now? Stabby Book is not particularly threatening to us at this time. It is the boys that I am afraid of. The gremlins are not... The gremlin leader is not a particularly threatening fight either. We have the bonk damage that we need to just kind of take them out. I think in that case, we should be taking the Immolate. It'll also help with any multi-hit fights we gotta deal with. So we will take it. And that is actually the perfect pickup because we just got an answer to our draw problem, which is phenomenal in the form of Snecko Eye. It does make Dropkick less good, but that makes Bludgeon, Immolate, Uppercut phenomenal cards. It also makes Anger less good, too. Same with Flex. But those are small prices to pay. Obviously, Astrolabe is a perfectly good pickup as well, but I think we're going to go for the Snecko Eye. That pretty much solves our draw issue. Now, instead of 4 hands to take care in order to cycle on the 5th, we will actually, in fact, cycle on the 3rd draw right now, which is really good. All right, possible solutions here. We do have an early shop option, which is phenomenal. We are facing off against the Bronze Automaton, which is not our best fight because we are being a little reliant on the vulnerable aspect right now. Although we do have the area damage to take out the little dudes. We can get into a bit of a later shop if we wanted to, and get to here. We get a camp beforehand, and then we can choose another camp or an elite behind that. Get to 3 fights, skip the shop. We can get into 3 fights by skipping the shop and 2 events, and then into a campfire, which then gets us into an elite or another camp, which then gets us into another elite into that shop, which is a good shop at that point. We will have well over 300 gold. I think we will do that. This is a bit of an unfortunate draw. This does not kill anything, unfortunately. But it does give us that extra dexterity and we do automatically block for, how much is it? For 6, which is really good. So it's not, I gotta keep remembering that I do always block for 6, even when I don't block for anything. This, of course, does just kill things. and then we just win. Carnage is not important at this time. Perfected Strike is going to be a little bit lackluster. Sword Boomerang is not great with Snecko Eye. We also do not have proper strength to support it. But I think we're going to skip this. We are actually in need of defense cards at this time. We are starting to see it where we don't really have the defense engine. All right, we have the Shelled Parasite, or commonly called the Avocado. Although we have a very strong opening here, letting us actually be kind of aggressive and having the defense available to just block for 12, which is pretty good, all things considered. And he gets vulnerable this turn. Play the Feel No Pain, and we will second the Wind just to get rid of that at full block. And we can play that, and there we go. Which only gives him 7 next turn, which is really, really good. Hey, look at that, bludgeon for 0. Italicize is a tempting option here. It stacks up with Orichalcum really well, making it so that we can block for 9 every turn by not playing any defense. And then we can keep our skills and our defense and second wins for when we kind of need that big blocking. I think that's a really good pickup. Even though it is going to be Sneckoed, I think playing that for 2 is not terrible. Upgrade, we block for 10 every single turn. We all agree that Anchor is a good relic. Generally speaking, it is not an amazing relic, but it is a good relic. Italicize is effectively turning Orichalcum into Anchor every turn. We'll take. This is a god-awful hand. I am going to just Metallicize, actually. And that allows me to just full block. This is going to suck, but it's fine because I block for 10 by default. That is terrible. But it does let me play another card after that, and it does give me that, and you know what? That's pretty okay. He just dies. Yeah, actually, does this kill? This would be 30-something. This would be 22, so 11 more. This would be 30. Be 34 on this guy. So be 10. Be slightly short. It would do exactly 3 damage to her, so it'd be pointless. We'll just do that. Get rid of him. And we'll just do that. He's pet. I believe she heals here. Yeah. Alright. In this case, we'll just throw both of these at you. Full block. Got the Sundial, which is amazing here. I think we actually just straight kill in that case. Nope, not quite. Here we go. Expensive drop kick. I'll take a skill potion over the fruit juice here by drinking it. Sword Boomerang Plus. This Rage is also tempting. Rage with the amount of attack cards that we are playing makes it tempting. But it's also not free. So it's technically not as good. Sword Boomerang, in this case, is kind of okay. But we don't have any strength scaling, so I still want to say no. We're kind of doing okay damage just between Bludgeoned and between this kind of setup that we have going here, we are actually doing pretty good damage already. So I think we're actually going to skip here again. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 upgrades. If I take all our upgrades, I think we will do exactly that. This makes running those defense actually really, really good. And any dexterity makes these very, very powerful. Playing this over not blocking actually isn't terrible now. 85 gold for a relic, absolutely. Mummified hand, that is incredible. In that case, well, let's see here. We either go for an elite into a campfire. We can either go triple elite, or double elite and a campfire, or double campfire and an elite. Now we want to probably go for one campfire for sure because we want to be able to get to this shop. So do we want 2 elites and a single campfire, or do we want a single campfire and 2 elites? What do we need in order to win against the Bronze Automaton? We have pretty much everything we need, except for maybe another high-quality block card. Maybe something like a Shrug, even. Even though it's not high quality, a Shrug would be pretty good. A Power Through would be amazing, however. Disarm is not particularly useful against this boss. 58 health, especially with the meat on the bone and the orichalcum. We're not worried about our defenses a lot, especially with the preserved insect. Take anything down pretty quickly. So what are we looking at for upgrades? I would like to upgrade the Second Wind and the Feel No Pain. Absolutely. Immolate is a fine card to upgrade, but it's not particularly pressing with the Bludgeon upgraded. Same thing with the Metallicize. Not particularly pressing, but a decent upgrade as well. Beyond that, I'm not really looking to upgrade things. So I have about 4 upgrades that I would like. So double campfire, which actually means that we'd be getting a 3rd campfire and a 4th up here. So I do actually like the 4th campfire option. We are going to be fighting we're going to be getting into 3 fights guaranteed. Yeah, 3 fights guaranteed along that route, however. Which is not a lot of fights, especially with 2 potions. And the upgrade on, say, the Second Wind or the Feel No Pain, while substantial, not huge. Especially when you consider that we have kunai. So, in that case, in that sense, 2 upgrades is pretty good. So I think we go for the extra elite. If we can get the Immolate here, that would be amazing. No Immolate. Alright, that is a bit of a shame. But we can do some pretty hefty damage here. I think we also just want to play the regen potion. I think we can get full value out of it here. Because this is 16 damage against him already. It's not the greatest opening turn, but blocking for 6 when I got another 9, 25 total coming in is pretty good. A bit of an unfortunate hand. Maybe we can get something of use here. +3 strength. That would be sufficient to be able to play both of these and kill him. Which is no different than me just playing the bludgeon. Battle Trance gives me a chance to maybe come up with a different option. Yeah, let's try the Battle Trance here. It is actually only worse. There is the factor of the Berserk making something cost 0. We'll play that against him no matter what here. But we will be taking far too much damage if that's the case. Also, we are if we wanted to, we can block for 10. By playing the second wind and anything else. Then I cannot attack next turn. This would be taking me take an additional 5 and 4, additional 9 damage for energy next turn. Which is not really worth it here. Part of the reason why I drank the healing pot anyways. And I have meat on the bone. What do I have to worry about? Alright, metallicize. Nice. Feel no pain. Alright. Not ideal. An extra 15 on each. I'm only taking 10 here, so that's fine. Oh dear. Is that sufficient to kill? It is not. But it gets me close. Thank goodness for that metallicize and that pot. That did a lot of help into ensuring my victory here. Anchor for turn 1, amazing. Weakness potion, not as amazing, but decent. Evolve. Tempting with the immolate. Combust, not really necessary here. Sever's Soul, another exhaust engine, but not what I really need. Though it doing 16 damage for 1.5 energy is pretty decent. Another way for me to gain block from the Feel No Pain, but I don't think so. Evolve is a card that if I get it, I am definitely going to want to upgrade it. And having it upgrade with the benefits of Immolate is pretty exciting. But I think we don't need it. Maybe we skip this. Alright, go for a bit of a fight here. Excellent. So we only have 10 block here to start, so I can't rely on it later. Can I get the... Nope. Alright. I could have actually made it so that I would have been able to make that cost 0. I'm going to restart the combat here. Don't actually lose anything. I can actually make it so that it always hits the 3 cost strike. So we're going to do that. Because then we actually do almost clear this in a single turn. We're only 6 damage short. So full heal. Recover here. None of these are good for us, unfortunately. We're going to go for the upgrade here. Now, the big question is Feel No Pain or Second Wind a better upgrade? Because I have no other exhausts, I'm going to say that Second Wind is the better upgrade here. Because otherwise, we're not really getting a whole lot out of Second Wind. This is +2, whereas this is +1. And this scales with the... And this also scales with the kunai, so we can get to really high heights much faster. We can absolutely go for this. Oh, that is a big chest and a Matryoshka. All right. So we're going to be looking a little bit for those question marks going into the third act. Speaking of, we do need to make sure that we go for the Burning Elite in the third act, as we skipped it in this act. Book of Stabbing, if we can get our hands on a Feel No Pain, we'll be doing phenomenal. I can actually make it so that it does 0 damage this turn, which is pretty good. Didn't look like I actually needed to use that there, but that's alright. We're going to go for a bash here. We're 15 damage this turn as it stands. So we will be taking 9. If we play the defend, we get an additional 2 block. However, if we play the pummel and the strike, we'll actually get an additional 3 block. And then we are actually full blocking here because of these other shenanigans. This is a big hit right there. In fact, I think we can actually just straight up win because of it. We can. Book of Stabbing, no things on us. A Shrug is a beautiful card to see here. That extra little bit of power blocking when we need it. Definitely take that. All right, we have 360 with the Courier, which is amazing. Okay, so we have some very, very fun options here. So, let's consider a few things here. So, taking the Offering is a no-brainer here. An Offering on sale, so good. So good. On top of that, taking the Frozen Egg might be a really good pickup. That means that but it may not be necessary for us, because the 2 powers that we're looking for at this point is Corruption and Dark Embrace. Well, both of them have an upgrade that reduces their cost. Or Barricade even. Barricade would be a decent card as well. Well, all 3 of those, their upgrade is reduction in cost. Snecko Eye already takes care of that. So we actually don't want the Frozen Egg. Pendib is really, really good, obviously, because it lets us double up things such as the Bludgeon, which is doing 60 damage against a vulnerable target. Well, double 60, double 63, and you have 126. That is some heart level damage numbers that we need there. Exhume is an alright card. I think it's fine, along with... but we can also consider the toolbox. I'm going to take this for sure. The flowers would have been nice, but I don't think those would be in the realm of what we would want. We can actually afford both of these. Toolbox, at the start of each turn, random colorless card to add to your hand. It's actually pretty nice, too. We'll take the Offering. Do we want an additional Shrug? Is a good question. I don't think we do. Between all the card draw and everything that we have already, I don't think we need it. I think we'll take the Toolbox, though. And that actually takes Dark Parapet out of our options as well, which I am happy to see gone as on top of that. That is an amazing shot. All right, continuing on. All right, we got ourselves a fight. We are drawing 7. This places it into our hand, not draws it, so it will cost the amount that is displayed. Discovery is a fine card to have. We are taking 6 damage. No, not 6. 6 plus. We are taking 14 damage as is. Which, playing a Shrug is not necessarily a bad idea. Play a Discovery, see what we get. Spot Weakness for 0 is actually really good here. So then we can play our Shrug. And the drop kick, and then maybe get somewhere next turn. Take 6 this turn, that's fine. We can bash. Then we can immolate. then uppercuts. Reduce the amount of damage that we're taking, and we're only taking 12 here, so we're going to get into meat on the bone range, which is nice. We actually just straight up killed this guy. Phenomenal. Power push. Armaments Plus is a card. I kind of like it here, actually. Gives us a little bit more fuel for our second wind Feel No Pain combo, and makes a lot of these cards much, much better. Including, but not limited to, cards such as the Immolate, Metallicize, the Shrug. Berserk also being a possible upgrade as well, making it possibly playable sometimes. Especially when you consider that it has a cost reduction. Sorry, not cost reduction. A vulnerability reduction. And we can play around the fact that it will be doing that amount of extra damage this turn, and then we reap the benefits from the return thereafter. Otherwise, I don't think I want to take anything here. Clothesline is not particularly useful in this upcoming fight. We already have a weakness option, especially with the extra card draw. We get to it every 4 hands for sure. And then after that, it's every... Well, we have... Let's see here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... We have 6 fake cards in our deck, or one-time cards, which we would probably play about 2. We would probably play 3 or 4 of them during our first draw cycle most of the time. So 4 of them means that we are down to 19 cards, which means we get it in our by our 7th hand twice, for sure. Meaning we see it once every 2 hands on average. Every other hand, we see it almost every other hand on average. And not to mention we are blocking reasonably well without it. Armaments being upgraded is the only thing making it tempting. We do have 2 upgrades along the way. We may rest here, but not likely. I think we will take the armaments, actually. Yes. In this case, we do want to upgrade either the Feel No Pain, Metallicize, Immolate are all okay. Upgrading the Offering is a little bit pointless at this point in time because we will overdraw a lot, pretty often. Getting a +2 draw in any other circumstance is fine, but when you're already full hand and can be adding a card to your hand, you need it a lot less. Bonus damage on Immolate is pretty tempting. +7 to all enemies on the damage stack is quite tempting. Especially when we're going into a boss with multiple targets. Granted, those targets are only one time, but being able to get them into a weak state quickly means that we can also time things with stuff such as the Offering costing 0. Or, now if it does steal the Bludgeoned, it is going to be a bad time for us to try and grab it. But if they take something such as the Offering, it is going to be really, really good to just take that, because it will be 0 cost every time. I think the Immolate will be the greatest value to us at this time. We need a little bit more damage, I think, in order to be able to close this out. Chrysalis is actually worthless to us because of Snecko Eye. The Bomb is okay. And Impatience is this at the start of each combat? Okay, I thought so. I don't know why I thought otherwise. bomb is tempting. 40 damage in a couple of turns is very tempting. Oh, we got ads coming in a bit here. I'm just going to snooze them. And we'll snooze them until we get to the end of the act. There's a small chance I do not grab any attack cards here. I think we can play the Impatience just to be sure. Wow, that is incredible. We will in fact actually play the Anger and the Bludgeon. Then we'll play Impatience. Play Metallicize to try and get something else for free. And then we'll just pass our turn, I guess. Wow, that was incredible. That was actually a pretty good call there. Immolate does 28 here. This does, I think, less overall, but it gives me more options. And I think I can actually just straight up kill him this turn. I can. Because of that. The extra energy is tempting. Yes. I don't think it's, I don't think she survives this turn. Nope. We actually gained health on that, which is phenomenal. I don't think we need another shrug at this point. With the armaments in there, I think we're pretty good. Alright, 57 health is plenty. And we are going to upgrade the Metallicize, I think. +1 armor every turn is actually not that big of a deal. +3 on the Shrug, however, whenever we play it, is probably a little bit better because it's burst armor. I think I'll do the Feel No Pain, actually. Now that I think about it. Feel No Pain is slightly better, I think. It's close. Alright, we have 2 really good potions for this fight. We have the panic button. We'll keep that in our back pocket. And speaking of back pocket, we're going to start with the armaments. Upgrade everything. Panic button for 40 block. Really good here. Kaka being a good option. And so is a potion. I think I'm going to drink this for a power. We don't need the Brutality, but the Dark Embrace is definitely a card worth taking here. And that is a very good pickup right there. We did 91 damage this turn. Uh, 9 plus 3 is significantly more than the goal. I think I will play that. Doubling Anger is not really that big of a deal. There is just the Berserk in my hand. Berserk, and then they'll just steal a random uncommon card. I'll play the Flex and then the Anger for 16. I think I want to punch. This guy's going to have the Berserk. This guy is going to have a different card. So we'll punch this guy. The Disarm. Alright. We will hold out for a minute after that. We have 16 damage coming our way, which is not that big of a deal. We have to get a 0 cost again, which is a strike. So we will do that just to get rid of the artifact here. And then strike. This has, what did this take? This took a Disarm Plus. Not a huge deal, but I do think that it is worth looking for. That's for the extra energy that gives us the discard. Very, very good. Well, we are already blocking now, so we'll do that. +2 dexterity already. Quite good. All right, we have ads, so we will wait for the ads to finish, and then we will be back. Promise you. We will... this run is looking very good. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. I had to take care of something real quick. Okay, so do we want the disarm? Disarm would make this deal 6 less damage, which is pretty substantial. I think we do want that. Which disarm for 1 is pretty good. 6 less damage. Which also lets us play a defend for free. And we draw 4 again our block. Which means we will be blocking for 17, which is pretty substantial. I should have played the Ka, I think. Don't need the panic button this turn. But it is buffing this turn, which is a little bit concerning. Let's play the flex for free, which is nice. We cannot play much in terms of offense. You have the Berserk in your hand. We can look for a good turn to play this, actually. Right after the big hits. Which is probably next turn, actually. Dropkick Strike is a okay setup for this turn. We have a very high chance of getting the block cards we need. Panic Button is unfortunately not on the turn we want. We can set ourselves up to get the necessary offense that we want next turn, which is fine. Alright. Second win for free is pretty good here. Blocking for 9 and then getting a bunch of draw out of it is going to be very good. And then the uppercut brings this down by 25%, which is a good 10, 12, 13, 14-ish. So we pretty much are full blocking almost in that case. We, in fact, we are almost full blocking. We are taking about 8 damage here, which is fine. Took 9, apologies. We can play the Berserk here, actually. And this actually makes the Bludgeon do 126 damage. Got lucky with that. Which puts us kind of right back in the game. Alright, this is going to hurt here, probably. Unless we can do something about the offense here. Offering is going to actually get us pretty far. He will be vulnerable to the Immolate. Which is a pretty good chance that we will draw some good offense. If we don't, we will draw some good defense. We'll start with the offering. Uppercut. He's dealing just under 40 damage, which we can block for that no problem between playing 0 costs, but I don't think we actually need to worry about that. Because I forgot to play the flex here, but we do in fact just win. Excellent. The unfortunate part about the Reaper is that it's never going to do a huge amount of damage and heal for a lot, unless we get strength scaling. But we are in a position where we don't really want the strength scale. Because we are just simply scaling off the flat damage value off of Uppercut, Bludgeon, and Immolate. We are seeing the problem in that it is a little bit hard for us to do substantial damage without the pen nib setup. But if we get 1 or 2 more cards that can really benefit that, such as a double tap, that will really, really help us. Bludgeon, in turn, is a very good card for that. It's pretty common that Reaper is only ever going to heal for 6 per target, which is not small, but it's not a big deal for us at this time. It is a heal avenue for some multi-target fights, such as the elites. And it costing less is good. Do we just take a second bludgeon, though? I don't think we do. We have pretty much what we need, except for a Dark Embrace and a Corruption. The Reaper does let us just kind of heal up a little bit here and there, regardless. But I think we'll take it. Pyramid is a card that we do not. Cursed Key is unfortunately not something we want. We are actually actively looking for chests because of the Matryoshka. So I think it's actually just remove with Empty Cage, and we can actually remove the Berserk and... perhaps the drop kick or the flex. But yeah, it's definitely Empty Cage, and we are taking a Berserk for sure. In this case, it's either the drop kick or the anger. Drop kick is good 50% of the time, whereas flex is good 25% of the time, and anger is kind of bad more often than not. So we'll actually get rid of anger in this case. These cards are still these are better than the anger at this point. Yeah. And that fixes this deck actually quite substantially now that I'm thinking about it. The extra energy from Berserk was not really a particularly necessary thing. Yes, I think I made the correct choice. Time Eater. Alright, so that is fine. So we need to take on this Burning Elite, which is actually not in a bad position. That's actually in a very good position for us. We like that, actually. We're going to not take this shop. It's a little too early. Go here, hopefully get a pick here, which is the better for us, and then go straight for this Burning Elite. Make our way this way. Go for this later shop. Hopefully we get something good, and then we can decide whether we need to want the extra upgrade or the rest or the elite. All cases of which are pretty good for us at this point. Apotheosis is not particularly tempting at this point. Flash of Steel is quite good. Let's just continue with the offense. Boom. Pop, pop, bang. We got the extra defense. I'm actually going to play this to get rid of those cards so I don't have to draw them again. I don't suspect I'm going to be in the position where I have to worry about drawing them again because, well, it just dies. Second Wind. Kind of tempting, actually. It is not a plus, however. Second Wind is only hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 cards. Now, I only ever really needed to hit 3 because getting 3 times 11 is 33 block, which blocks most things. But this does make it so it hits more often. And it is still blocked for 9 a lot of the time. For 1 card being exhausted. Which does make it as good as a True Grit at its worst. When it is playable. It's very unlikely that I will not have a a second non-attack card in my hand. It's mighty tempting. I think I'll take it. Sometimes it gets exhausted by the other second wind, which is fine. Find some potions. Ah, regen potion. Excellent. Go for another one. A chest. So, Singing Bowl. Mighty tempting, because I think we're going to actually be bypassing a lot of card pickups at this point. The odds, however, that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at most. So at most it is plus 12 HP. Plus 12 maximum HP. Plus 14 maximum HP by the time we get to the heart. And that's if we take 0 cards. If I had an option between the Sapphire Key and the Mango, would I take the Mango? Possibly. If I had this and the Strawberry, would I take it? I'm going to say no. And I think this is actually going to give me about a Strawberry's worth of hit points. Unless we get the Oratory. But I believe that was in the picks earlier. So I'm going to say I'm going to say no to this. And take the Sapphire Key. Weak, Hand of Greed, or Master of Strategy. I'm going to take a Master of Strategy here to give me as many options in the opening hand as possible. I can, in fact, just kill him with Bludgeon. Let's just do that. No point in playing that to take some damage there for free. We'll play second wind here. Then just play boom. Get rid of more cards. Get rid of more junk. Get the sundial out. Very good. Feel no pain for free. Metallicize for free. This would be... I heal most of that back. It's fine. Next fight is the elite fight. I want to try and have as much health as I can for that. Alright, that's fine. 15... I want to try and get this as close as I can. I'm going to take 2 damage to get this a little bit closer. That's fine. Do I have any block cards left? I have 1. I have a few. I can wait for the perfect opportunity here. That is plus... That is a kill. That is plus 11 armor. I'm losing a lot more health than I originally intended, but it's okay. getting this really close is quite helpful. Headbutt is a very, very good card here. Letting us set up our next turn. Very important. However, is it worth adding to our deck at this point? We're kind of looking to eliminate much of our deck. The headbutt in of itself is not particularly good, unfortunately. I think we're going to skip. Alright. Madness. He'll lose 4 max. I will lose the 4 max. It is fine. It is not the end of the world. We definitely want a... I think we can take an elite fight here, for sure. Excellent. We will take a Flash of Steel here. And in this case, I think we'll actually take the Ritual right this turn. Start with playing the Disarm into the Reptomancer herself. Big block this turn, which is fine. Excellent. That is going to just demolish the opposing side. Fortunately, I do not have a good set of block to follow up. That is 23 damage coming in. And I will be taking 6 as a result. But getting rid of the entire board otherwise is quite good. We could heal up to full here in addition to that, which I think is a fine play. That healed for 7. Oh, I'm an idiot. That is -1 block. That's fine. Feel no pain. Italicize. Good. I was hoping it would hit the blood. We'll take 6 here. Take the Sundial. Be able to play pretty much the entire hand. That is 8 blocks. Sucks a little bit, but we do have meat on the bone. And we just win off of this here. A little bit tight, but it is fine. Prayer Wheel is making me wish I took that Singing Bowl now. But it is neither here nor there. Pommel Strike is tempting, but I don't think we want it at this time. I think it's a little too late for that. Oh, we get a guaranteed 5 turns here. Mind Blast to deal 14 damage. Blind, on the other hand, is very, very useful. We are going to drink this because we are going to get the 5 turns out of this. Getting rid of these 3 cards for some block is fine. I'd rather keep the... Right, keep that for later. One moment. Or the child making a bunch of noise. In this case... Play the Feel No Pain first. This is doing 16. Hey, the metallicize. There's a good chance that we get something here for free. Or strike. That's 16, that's 18. This is doubling much harder. For 27. Yeah, this is definitely the better play here. 17. This brings him down to 0 because of the extra metallicize. We actually take 1 damage here. All right. In this case, uppercut doing 13, giving him a vulnerable and a weaken. This also just does a flat 28, which sets up for something like shrug and strike. Start with the shrug here. Bludgeon for 42. 42 would bring that down to 18, blocking for 11. We take 7 damage. This is significantly less. It does allow us to be in a position where we can get a little bit more for the future, but that's okay. We don't need that right now. This is a much better setup. Let's get this for free. This lets us get 11, 22 art block instead of a little bit less than that for less cost. Play this. Oh, this is much better. We can play this. That heals us for 6. And we would only take total... We would actually be taking an effective 0 damage. Nope, I lied. We would be taking effectively 1. 2. Apologies. Math is hard. Oh, this is easy. There we go. He does 0. I am an idiot. I thought it was 1 less. Oh, doesn't matter. We have to play them this turn anyways. Draws me 5. There we go. Very good. Alrighty. As it stands, I need a solution to the beat of death, unfortunately. Ghostly Armor can be it. Rupture is not really a good option, I don't think, for this deck. A second Feel No Pain might be, though. It makes any card that we exhaust twice the value, which, exhausting a card for a single card for a bonus 8 armor, pretty good. Along with the fact that Mummified Hand also makes things free, and we are facing off against the Time Eater. Making it only 50% chance that we will be dealing with the Awakened one. It does make something such as Ghostly Armor actually kind of appealing. It means that we can just let it burn our hand, which is just effectively an 8 block card. I think we can actually afford to do that. Alright, we're fine. Nemesis. Splendid. Are you attacking this turn? You are. We'll just take the Dark Shackles then. bash. Just because we can. Feel no pain this turn. Play this just to get the pen nib a little bit closer. Blocking for 7 anytime that we exhaust a card, which is very good with all the burns that we're going to be getting. This is a bit of an unfortunate hand. Yes, indeed. We have an automatic 7 block here. Do this actually and get the big block off, and then we'll get this to block as well. Be blocking pretty much, yeah, taking only 7 damage. That's pretty good. All right. Unfortunately, we don't have good damage out this turn, but that'll definitely help us in the offense of the next turn. And this sets us up for the big good damage next turn as well. All right. Does this just kill? This does not just kill. Gets us close though. We are 32 damage off, which this would be 27, which with the fire potion would be enough. It is not quite enough with the fire potion. I miscalculated because of the bonus defense, or bonus from the vulnerable. This is gonna hurt because of a misplay, but it's fine. We have meat on the bone. Next turn, he just dies. Indeed, he does. Worker Hourglass, not a bad relic at this point. Not a great one, but not a bad one. Emerald Key. Dual Wield could be insanely good and might actually be exactly what we need. Gain that with something like a 0-cost Metallicize, or even just a Metallicize that we can just cycle into itself. Same thing with Feel No Pain. This could be a massive play. Play it when we get a 0-cost of something that we can just skyrocket a lot. That might be our solution. Alright, Nunchaku and Art of War, some good energy relics that are going to help us a little bit here and there. Very helpful, very helpful. We're definitely going to go for this campfire here. We are going to go for the discovery here. And we're going to start with the uppercut. And then we'll go for the drop kick. That is not a bad setup. We will go for the offering here. Dual-wielding the Immolate is kind of insane. We also don't have the room for it this time. Oh, wait, we do. Well, we'll start with the discovery. Bloodletting. Now that's an interesting idea. Oh, that is a beautiful set of plays. Almost killed him turn 1. That actually does just, in fact, kill him. Gambler's Brew, a nice pickup here. Oh, we don't really want any of that. Or any of this. I think we want to recall here, actually. Yes, I think the recall here is the correct play. Just to get it out of the way. And it gives us a proper decision possible here. All right. Last shop before Act 4. There's the Dark Embrace we wanted. So we can definitely pick that up. We won't be able to take that and Self-Forming Clay. Spoon is a interesting card. It will actually help us a lot with our offense, or our defense, because it'll keep us from exhausting too many of our cards that we play. Well, actually, it keeps cards from you that you play from exhausting, which is actually just the Reaper and the Offering, and the Disarm. If we get a double Disarm on the Heart is pretty much just screwed for much of the fight. Any of these high damage output scenarios, actually, it takes care of one of 2 major damage types. So it's definitely a possibility to going in for that Strange Spoon. We definitely need this Dark Embrace, though. The Inflame is an interesting choice, but I don't think we want it. We also have T-Set active, so it is tempting to go for this other Elite here. If we don't go for it, what are we upgrading? A second wind, maybe? Other than that, we don't really need a lot of upgrades. So we may actually go for this Elite here. That is a Gambler's Brew, so we're not giving that up. Do we have a potion that we want to keep? Not really. Blood Potion for the Fire Potion is actually significantly better. We could also just hold our money for the next shop. We will have one more. Strange Spoon. Maybe. It's definitely tempting. I don't think we need it. Does mean that Pummel stays online a little bit more, but that's not a big deal. It means that Pummel, Disarm, Offering, and Reaper sometimes get to be played again. All of which are good cards. Well, Pummel less so. But these 3 are good cards, and I would never dislike being able to play them a second time. Bonus Strength is also a good option. Make everything do slightly, just that little bit extra. We also only have one more fight worth of money coming in, because we don't get money from this at all. So if we don't take this fight, we're going to be going into the last area with about 200 something gold, which means that we can get a relic and a potion sometimes. But we probably can because of the cost reduction. So there's a good chance that we can get a potion and a relic, like we can right now. But the relic could be rare instead, potentially. Or a potentially rare relic. Possibly a card if we need one, or a remove. If I do remove, what are we removing? Strike, probably? Ah, we'll be getting rid of that flex. The flex is the weakest card in our hand and our deck, for sure. I think we just proceed, and I think we're not looking to actually upgrade any of this particularly badly. So I think we'll actually just go straight for this Elite. We've already got the key, so we can always rest if we need to. And we can always get a really good event, possibly. This is the one that I was a little bit concerned about. Swift Strike, however, kind of helps us deal with that quite well. Well, we can go for the Dark Embrace, and go for this Metallicize, and play our entire hand. get all the damage bonuses up before the big hit of the Immolate, doing 43, a big 83 damage on the first turn, which isn't terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. We go for the bash into the uppercut here. Shrug. We should have shrugged first, actually. I don't want to play the Feel No Pain, have 61 damage on the board, and I can then play that. I just missed out on 10% damage. 20% damage, actually. Not a ton, but some. The disarm. I'll actually play second wind here, because I don't want any of these. I should have waited because I had Dark Embrace going. Play the armaments. Did the second wind. Which I can then play, yeah. Bash into the strike, which is 35. I'm actually misplaying this a little bit. I'm getting kind of annoyed with myself here. Okay. Wait, this is dealing 7. I'm gonna get an energy back after I play 2 cards. If I play the strike, then the drop kick, I actually go back up to 3. This kill, this will kill if I get another 10 damage, which this does 8, but this will deal 10% more. Oh, we're gonna kill here. It's fine. The boot, not a huge deal, but a deal nonetheless. We're gonna skip that. Looking for. Okay, what do we get here? Lose flex, lose pump. Well, I'll lose the flex. I'm actually kind of happy with that one. 44 health. We can recover 20, putting us at 64 health. 64 health over a smith. What are we upgrading? One moment, please. My daughter is awake and being noisy. All right, I am back. I don't think we actually want to take. None of these upgrades are particularly huge. The Feel No Pain upgrade is nice, so is the second wind upgrade. The Reaper upgrade is also kind of nice. I think it's going to be a Feel No Pain upgrade, if any. Because that one doesn't scale on its own, the second wind does. The extra 20 hit points I don't think is going to be a major factor here. Master of Strategy. Or Panache. Oh. Nope. Definitely Master of Strategy here. Okay. This is a very problematic opening hand. We're going to Gambler Brute this, actually. Just in case. Okay. Just get rid of this. I don't want to get rid of the disarm that badly. I'm only taking 10 here. And it will be less. I will be taking 3 less from this and then 4 less from it afterwards. It's pretty good. I also draw a card. I think 3 damage, that's fine. Less than ideal, but I'm blocking a full block if I play 1 defend card. Heal for 12, take 9. About as good as that is gonna get, in all honesty. I only have 2 cards to play next turn, however. That's fine. I actually end up full blocking because of the draw. I am blocking for 8 with every exhaust, so I want to exhaust carefully here. Interestingly, this makes me so this blocks for 16. If I play this, I block for 4 more. And I play this, I block for 9 on top of that. Or I play this and I block for 24, which is actually insanely good here. We're kind of off to the races here. So we would be exhausting that for 20 block. That's pretty good. Do this first. And we only need to exhaust the 1 card. Blocking for 12 with every exhaust is very, very nice. Italicize is more of an opportunity play here. 3 cards next turn, I think, is fine. We are blocking for exactly 3 right now. That's not good enough. Three exhausts, and I blocked for 60. So we were pretty good for the defense engine. And he is going to be attempting to buff next turn. Well, he's blocking this turn. If I do 9 damage to him, I actually really like this play here. And tends to buff. I think we actually just kill here. Not quite, but pretty close. No. He's not healing here, is he? He is healing here. That's annoying. I thought for sure he was not healing there. Well, regardless, on the strike, the immolate on the bludgeon. Apologies. And second win, basically full blocking. Put the bludgeon down. 7 health. We're not actually below half yet, and I thought we would be. It's kind of annoying. That's. We'll go for the 2 exhaust here so we get the block going. It's fine. It is a little bit on the slow side, but we can do it. Ah, excellent. Victory. I was kind of hoping to set up Pen Nib for the next fight, but it's fine. This is what I was afraid of. Unupgraded. Not a lot of stuff. Let's go Madness. Okay. We don't want to be playing powers this turn, unfortunately. Disarm. It's a good card to play right here. We're only taking 9 damage this turn. This is actually not good. This is fine. Oh boy. We have a bit of a problem on our hands. I'm willing to take that damage now. This is going to be kind of on the rough side. I think 26 and 6. So 32, which does kill me. I have a way of just killing one of these guys. I actually think... Yes, I think we do. Why are we getting an ad? Really? It's been that long already? We're going to dismiss that for a minute. Or not dismiss, snooze the ad. Apologies. We are going to get more Reapers in our deck. We are going to do a Reaper on one of these. Get another energy. do another Reaper, and then play second wind block for 15. 15 is not a lot. I do want to almost want to just throw. Well, 15 is not terrible here. That is 15 damage as a. I'm blocking 15. I'm at 62 health. I have lots of health right now. That means I'm taking 12 plus 5, 17. 17 isn't a huge amount. This is only blocking for 6. So I think it's fine. I'm going to be slowly whittling this man away. Alright, there we go. Ghostly Armor. Not a bad draw at this time, actually. Immolate to get rid of that guy. And we can strike this guy dead. Making it so we only take 10 damage. Pretty okay. Oh, I should have waited. -1. Should have taken 8 instead. That's fine. We play armaments first. Uppercuts. Drop kick. We don't need to dual wield any of this. Playing the strike for the +1 defense is kind of tempting here. Dual wielding strike is a bad play. But for the extra 1 defense, it's kind of tempting to play the double strike, the double costing strike here, which honestly getting more defense is actually kind of good. Because he's not going to scale unless I play powers. So it's actually fine, I think. Because now I'm full block. And with +2 dexterity, I'm going to be blocking pretty good. Like, for example, here I'm gaining 6 health. Or 4 health. Why only 4? It should be 6. It's like a graphical error to me. But this does 60 right there, right? So, now I'm blocking for 6 automatically. So I think this is a perfectly good time to do this. Alright, I am below half, so I gotta be careful. I can afford to play this. And I think I will. Do I have another Feel No Pain in my deck still? I do not. That is not ideal. That is 19 damage. I can't afford to take that. That is a lot of moves that I'm taking away from my future self, though, and I kind of need those. Snooze the ads again. Play for the 7 block. Italicize is tempting. I'm hoping that it hits the dual wield. I can afford the 2 strength, I think. If it gets me the dual wield. Does not. Taking 10. Getting mighty low. We're running into trouble here. Uppercut is a good card to be running into, however. Alright, 20. I would be blocking for a lot here. Well, 10... This is 10 on its own. So I'd be blocking for 14 of 20. Do that. It's pretty much full blocking. It is full block. Alright, Sundial. Helpful, helpful. Along with all the garbage here. Full block if I play that. So, we'll play it. Next turn is good. We actually have a Reaper still, which is also good. That's very helpful. This makes it so I'm blocking 14 of 20. Again. 14 of 20, I'm taking 6. That's a little bit much, unfortunately. This adds so much block potential, but I can't do it. I can't afford another +2 string. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is good. This is good. Hold on. Hold on. We don't have a doubling coming up. I have to knock him off right now, though. So this does 4, so it's dealing 6. Do I just do the bash so that I do more damage 2 more times? So it's 12 damage twice. It's additional 24 damage. 24 damage with 28. Because I can only play 2 immolates, which is 30, 60, which is enough. I think it's the immolates. Do bash, strike, strike, immolate, and we can Reaper for enough. There's a very good chance. There's a very strong chance that I do enough. I get a good defense going next turn, but it's not great. But I think I do this. Get the extra 6. Kill. That gives me the extra dexterity. I have 4 dexterity now. So I'm blocking pretty good if I get any second wind with any block cards. I feel no pain. I'm blocking for a lot. A lot. Bit of a shame that I hit that of all things. I am living. I have no way of blocking this, I don't think. It's the immolates. Uppercut. I live with 1 HP. That was a misplay. Could have done a little bit more. That's all right. Live with 1. Oh, no, wait. I'll live with 7. Ha ha ha. Idiot. Hold. Hold. We live. That was the fight I was afraid of. All right. Hey, Rexy, how's it going? 2100 exactly damage. Nice. All right. Laying in bed after a weird-ass week at work. You know what? I get that. We're going to snooze these ads one last time, because that's the last one I have, and we're going to get ourselves set up for the heart fight. Okay. So, one last smith, and I believe that this last smith is going to be the second win. I don't want to have a weakened second wind. The extra 2 block on each car being exhausted is too big to disregard. We're doing that. 228 at the last shop. Okay. This is pretty big. This gets rid of the Snekoi, which we don't want to do, actually. Our deck is valued too much by the random numbers, I think. We're relying too heavily on these being cost reduced to be able to take the clock, taking the Clockwork Souvenir. On the alternative side, Ironclad is a good card, or good relic, because that makes it so that turn 2, we don't have to block as hard. Which kind of helps with our because the heart messes with your hand pretty badly on turn 2. So that helps that a lot. Sentinel is a fantastic card because if we can exhaust it, we can kind of keep our energy going and we can get a lot of value out of it. Duplication Potion is also extremely tempting. Doubling up on any of our powers is going to be a massive benefit. Gambler's Brew can help get us out of a bad spot. It's much better than the Fire Potion. That puts us at about 180. So we could... You know what? We're going to do that. Duplication Potion. Gambler's Brew. And we're going to add a Sentinel to the deck. We could actually add the Panacea to get rid of an active problem afterwards instead, which might actually be better. Problem is that it's not going to always cost 0, but the artifact might save us from getting a vulnerable, which is probably going to cook us. Like, I'll pay 2 energy to not get vulnerable. All right. Fortunately, we have Preserved Insect, so this will help against these two pretty heavily. Oh, then of course. I actually forgot that I had this because that last fight was so long. We will take the Impatience here. Oh my goodness, this is such a good opening hand. What the heck? Please hit the drop kick. No dice. One, two, three, 4. Oh, I don't even get to use this turn. Taking 2 damage? Healing 16. You know what? Sure. Just top off right now. Got 1 minute before ads hit. Okay. This is good if it costs 0. There's a world where we get a lot of value. Actually, hold on. Doubling this is not... Nope, doesn't kill. I will take the Panacea here, though, for free. Disarm for 2 is blocking... That's effectively blocking 8. And getting me a draw. Oh, it doesn't block because of the artifact. Idiot. I am taking a ton of damage here. Hopefully we get a better hit. We get the redraw with the energy. Get no exhaust though, unfortunately. This will kill him no matter what. 28, 28, 28. And then we got Bash, Disarm. Or Uppercuts. Then we only take a bit of damage from him. Yes. We get the 1 energy. Which is good. Actually, we just win. Ah! Full health! Ah, there's the ad. Alright, we'll be back momentarily. Alright, we got 40 seconds for the ads on Twitch. I hope everybody's having a good day, good evening, or good night, whichever it is. This has been a strange day for me. At least when it comes to things regarding work. This run has gone reasonably well. Overall, we had a couple of rough encounters, like the Awakened one, for example. But outside of that, this has been going without too much of a hitch, which is pretty good. All right, that's it for the ads, apparently. Let's keep this moving, then. Centennial Puzzle is a very big pickup for us here, getting more cards. Flame Barrier, now that could be a very good pickup for us right now. That lets us just block and do a bunch of damage back to the heart. We'll take it. All right. Okay. We got Dupe Pot. We have a Bind. Sadistic Nature. Whenever you apply a debuff to an enemy, they take 5 damage. We are not applying that many debuffs, I don't think. We are applying some. Need to slow this right down and focus. Focus in, focus in. I think it's actually the bind here, or the blind. Just getting the weakness on him early, keep things going. All right, we're able to get that early Feel No Pain off, which is very good. Gain that free drop kick. We don't want to do anything too crazy here. Starting off with a bludgeon is pretty nice. Get that weakness off early. Bludgeon and drop kick, just because it's free for us anyways. Alright, now, dealing a big 50 damage to us. Start with the Dark Embrace. Offering becomes free. Excellent. We are going to play a block, I think. Actually, we'll play Flame Barrier to start this off. Then we'll play the Offering. Second Feel No Pain. Excellent. Wait. I would like to dual wield that. Or dupe that. Is that worth duping? 8 per exhaust. That's pretty strong. Yes, I think I do want to dupe this. That's 12 block right there. Excellent. That's another 12 block right there. That's 12 block. I will play another Defend. And then I'll play an Immolate. I have 32 block in my hand right now. There we go. We have our block problem solved. And I drew the Void on the other opposite turn, so I don't even have to worry about it. Okay. At this point, I can just play the dual wield for 0 cost attacks. We can armaments first here. And then Panache, which is very good for us. Italicize, handy. Shrug, good. There, Defend, also good. We block, 2 of our block is gone, but we get another 12. We are taking a bit of a hit here, but I think that's fine. We take 14-ish damage. 12. 12 is not too bad. Okay, let's see here. Let's block for 8. I don't want to add more strikes to my deck. This is a bit of a sucky hand, honestly. The Pummel is an okay card, but it's not scaling off of anything that we have. We do have the Disarm still, too. I also don't want to play any of my attacks right now because they are all doubled and they're not very good. I think we just play the Blind and pass. So he's still weakened this turn, so we only need to block for 45 again. Actually, it's significantly less. I am an idiot. I didn't pay attention to the artifact again. I'm taking 30 damage here. For my own stupidity. I'm going to do that for 10. Not terrible. Also do 84. Heal for 10, and then block another 12. Block another 10. Heal for 10, block for 10. This is a 20 HP card. Yeah. That's fine. This is not what I wanted in the... Okay, he will be getting the vulnerable first. Alternatively, if I play the bash and then play the uppercut, he gets the weaken. Oh, played the flame barrier. And the uppercut. This... Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm gonna take a little bit here. I'm running out of time, though. Oh my goodness. Start with this. I need cards. I need to get the offense going. Okay, here we go. That is a form of offense. Okay. That got me 1 dexterity, which is good. Basically made him vulnerable and weak for the rest of the fight. I live. Hold. Hold. This does 30. And then I get block. And I get dexterity. It's fine. I live with more. I'm down to 12. This is getting really ugly. This does nothing. Blocking 14. I'm looking for something. Come on. I just lose. Get the hell out of here, fly. Dang. It's really close. Misplaying that artifact screwed me. Damn. That is a shame. We're going to do this over. Now, is a blind a real factor in this fight? I'm trying to think this is part of a learn. This is just for me to learn now. How big of a factor is the blind? Not huge. Not as big as sadistic nature could be. I think it's actually sadistic nature. And the other reason why is because this is also a power. Dark Embrace. Flame Barrier. Strike to make room. Offering to get full. Duplicate the disarm. And that way... Well, this blocks for 8 by not playing it. And gets rid of it. Yeah. I take a little bit more than before, but I take 0 from the heart now. And I actually like the dual wield on the Metallicize here, because then it adds a bunch to my deck. And then I have options for the 0 cost, like to reduce the cost of stuff. I really like this uppercut dual wield option here. Because I can go slime. Dual wield the uppercut. And just go boom, boom, boom. I don't need to worry about blocking here. Does it clear? It clears negative strength, right? Yeah. But that's fine. This is 45 damage coming in, and I have a garbage hand. There we go. Misplay. I meant to play the fucking defend there with the upgrade. I want to get this win under my belt. Is it actually smarter to hold off on the disarm until after it clears its strength? Like, just try to survive the early part and then dupe the disarm later. Is that the correct way of playing this? I have 1, 2, 3 exhausts right now, which is 8, 8, 8. So I'm all the way down to 27, but I'm really low now, but after he clears his debuffs, it's not really that big of a deal anymore. This is going to heal for 12. It's on Duke right now. I should have left it because of the energy on Chaku. Alright, now the real question. Can I survive this? This exhausts for 8. And then I can duplicate. Funny enough, is this double duplicate the slimed? No, it is not. It's duplicate the uppercut, if anything. In which case, I could dual wield. No. I still don't survive. That's a shame. My first run was the best one, it looks like. There's gotta be an avenue to success here. There's no reason that I can't win that. I want to figure out how to fight the heart like this. I keep picking nature. I feel like that's my best option. Drawing both second wins in my opening hand is really rough. We're going to start with the Dark Embrace. Get the Flame Barrier going. Strike just to get it out of the way. Make room for the Offering. I think the duplication on the Feel No Pain is too important. Otherwise, we just take way too much damage. So we got 1, 2, 3 times 12 block coming in. Like, it's just way too much damage, like, coming in if I don't. Armaments to block. Well, to upgrade. Which I actually shouldn't be doing that, because the double panacea is not huge here. Because this blocks for 10. And that blocks for 15 because of how I play it. Do I need... I mean, I'm taking 20 damage here. No, I'm not. I'm taking 8. Well, 10. Which is fine. This is the turn I can play for good setup. Italicize is not a good card here. Unfortunately. Get 6 health back. Not really a lot, but it does. This is also a block card. effectively. Alright, I need to get rid of these before I play my main thing again. This is effectively full blocking because of all this. This is 60. Do not need to second win this. Right. I believe I am probably dead here. No, this is 12 additional health. Or 10 additional health. I have to play it there or I just die. In fact, I'm still dead. Yep. Just can't be done. I don't know. I think it's just the draw order in some part. I think I'm just too tired. I can't quite do it. I'm trying different avenues, but the first one was my best one results-wise. But I think with the RNG changing a fair bit, I'm not sure. I'm getting better, though. I am getting close. I don't know how I got... I keep amazing myself how I had a 3-win streak before. When I'm, like, just messing it up so bad constantly now. But I'm getting close. I'm getting close. That's the thing. I'm close. I can taste it. That's good. All right. It is very late for me. I've been up about an hour later than I wanted to be originally. Because I wanted to finish this run. So it might be partially that too. Thank you everybody for swinging by that did. Appreciate you all. I hope you had a good evening. And yeah, until next time, guys, have yourself a lovely day. An extra 90 points in the second and last little bit there. Awesome. All right. Till next time, guys.
Sors et fuis, je t'en prie. Fuis ce tableau maudit, cette toile